Playoffs? We talking about playoffs? Or are we talking about practice? Now, for those of you sports fans out there, those are two pretty famous quotes said by two completely different people. I know that the practice one was said by Allen Iverson, basketball, but the playoff one, I'm not entirely sure. I know it was said by a coach. I don't know what coach. I know he's black. That's about all. But besides for that, I don't know who said it. So, we are here to talk about playoffs, though. Fuck practice. We're here to talk about the playoffs. The playoffs. And for those of you retards out there that don't follow sports, well, not retards, but for those of you that don't know which playoffs we're talking about the National Football League playoffs. Okay? Now, we are here to talk about playoffs, as I said. So, first off, I'm going to start with the NFC, just because they're my favorite team. Well, not favorite team, but my favorite team is in the NFC. The Green Bay Packers. I'm a Packers fan, okay? And here's how it looks. Well, let's start with the first game. New Orleans versus Seattle. Hands down, New Orleans is winning that one. New Orleans is going to move on. Just because Seattle, they don't even have a positive fucking record. They're under 500. They're horrible. They're garbage. They are 7-9. Enough said. Enough salad. You don't need, or something like that. Yeah, 7-9. You don't need to say anything more. New Orleans won that one hands down. The other wild card playoff game is a bit more interesting. Green Bay and Philadelphia. Now, these two teams met the first game of the season. The Packers won. However, it was still a pretty close game, I have to admit. So this game is going to be a bit more interesting. The Packers did end up beating Philadelphia that first game of the season. However, Philadelphia has gotten a lot better since then. They have been, well, as Allen Iverson would like to say, practicing. We talking about practice. Now, it's not just the practice that matters, though. It's not just the fact that Philadelphia has gotten so much better. You have to remember, the Packers have gotten so much better, too. Me being a Packers fan and knowing how they can play, they didn't play up to their standards against Philadelphia. They played like shit against them, but still came out on top. My prediction for the Philadelphia Packers game is Green Bay is going to win. I'm not going to give you a score, but it's going to be a close game. That Green Bay-Philadelphia game is going to be a great game, okay? But I have the Packers coming out on top, not just because they're my favorite team, but I think they're the more skilled team. I'm going to be honest with you there. So, then the divisional game. Since New Orleans has moved on, it's going to be New Orleans and Atlanta. Now that is going to be an amazing game to watch. Two incredibly skilled teams. Atlanta is the #1 seed here, but I actually have New Orleans beating Atlanta. Yes, Atlanta's a good team, but if you can shut down their run, they are fucked. Matt Ryan, yes, he is a good quarterback, but if New Orleans can shut down Atlanta's run, I have New Orleans coming out on top. They are two incredibly skilled teams. New Orleans won the Super Bowl last year, and they have so many returning starters. New Orleans is a stacked team, so I have them coming out over Atlanta in this game. And then, the Green Bay-Chicago game is going to be the other divisional game. This is the biggest rivalry in sports. Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears, okay? The Packers beat the Bears in Green Bay to get a spot into the playoffs. The Packers lost earlier in the year to Chicago by 3 points, but the Packers had 18 penalties that game. This game is going to be a fun one to watch. I'm going to be honest with you. It's going to be a fun game to watch. Now, this one, it's another one, and I actually do have to go with the Packers on this one. The Packers overall are the better team. They have the pass. They don't really have the run, but if the Packers can pull off that play action, they're going to have this game on lockdown, okay? Chicago was rusty in that game, I have to admit. Yes, they did have nothing to play for, but yes, they did have their starters out, and yes, they did want to win against the Packers because that would keep them out of the playoffs. So I actually have Green Bay moving on over Chicago. So then in the NFC divisional game, or not divisional game, but the NFC Conference Championship game, it's New Orleans and Green Bay. Now, here's where I get pretty disappointed off. Here's where I get disappointed, to be honest with you guys. Green Bay, New Orleans. No, guys, these are all predictions. This isn't given for anything. These are all predictions. Green Bay, New Orleans. Two amazing teams. Everyone in the playoffs, except for Seattle, are great teams. These are all great teams, especially on the NFC side, okay? So, Green Bay, New Orleans. If New Orleans can shut down the Packers' air game, if they can shut down their pass game, the Packers are fucked. But it's basically the same thing for the Packers. If they can shut down New Orleans' pass game, I mean, yes, New Orleans does have a run game, but their pass game is pretty damn good if you ask me. They've got Drew Brees and so many other guys. This is a pretty matched game, but I actually have to say I have New Orleans coming out on top. So New Orleans is going to be in the Super Bowl trying to defend their title. So now if we have enough time, hopefully, we're going to get, well, we should have enough time, but we're moving on to the AFC, okay? New York Jets, Indianapolis, hands down, Indianapolis. No need to say why. They're a better team. The Packers beat the Jets. I'm going to stop referencing the Packers now, but yeah. Indianapolis is going to move on. So Baltimore, Kansas City. I haven't heard much about Kansas City. I don't understand how they're in the playoffs. I have not heard shit about them this season. And Baltimore, I know they're beast. Baltimore's got some good D. I actually have to go with Baltimore on this one just because of the fact that I have not heard shit about Kansas City this season. I have not heard any good things about Kansas City. So the fact that they're in the playoffs is like, okay, how? So, now divisional playoffs for the AFC. Pittsburgh and Indianapolis. This is going to be a good game, guys. Pittsburgh's got some amazing defense and a great run game. Indianapolis is Peyton Manning and a great passing game. That defense of Pittsburgh matched up against Indianapolis' offense is going to be amazing. It's going to be absolutely amazing. But the fact that this game is being played in Pittsburgh, I have to give it to Pittsburgh. If it was being played in Indianapolis, I'd give it to Indiana. But it's being played in Pittsburgh. Home field advantage with two great teams. I've got to give it to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's moving on. So, now Baltimore, New England, okay? I have to give it to New England. I'm just going to say that hands down just because I'm running out of time in this video. I've got about 2 minutes or so left. So, New England, not hands down. It's going to be a fairly close game. But then again, most of these playoff games are going to be close. So, New England moves in over Baltimore just because New England is a skilled team. They've got the run, they've got the pass, they've got the defense. And to mention the Packers one more time, when they played the Packers, that was a damn good game. Even though we didn't have our quarterback in and we only lost by like 4 points. We were playing with a backup. And we barely lost to New England. So, AFC Championship game. New England, Pittsburgh. I'm going to give this game to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has that defense to stop New England. They can stop the run. They can stop the pass. Pittsburgh is a well-stacked team. They are one of the best teams out there. So, New England is good, yes, but I don't see them beating Pittsburgh in my opinion. So, Pittsburgh moves on to the Super Bowl. Now, my prediction on the Super Bowl, Pittsburgh, New Orleans. Two amazing teams. Two incredibly good teams here, Pittsburgh and New Orleans. Now, if this came out to be the Super Bowl teams, and with my luck, neither of them are going to make it, just because I'm horrible at making predictions. I'm just doing this because it's fun, okay? Now, Pittsburgh, New Orleans. I have to say, Pittsburgh comes out on top just because of their defense. They are going to be able to shut down any opponent that comes at them. Pittsburgh defense it's ranked #1 in the league. Now Green Bay's defense, not to gloat, but they're ranked #2 as well. So yeah, what's there to say about that? Yeah, guys, I have Pittsburgh winning this game over New Orleans and Pittsburgh taking the Super Bowl. So yeah, guys, hope you enjoyed. Let me know what your predictions are for the playoffs and who your favorite NFL teams are and whatnot. But yeah, Packers don't make it all the way, unfortunately. Pittsburgh, in my opinion, is going to win the Super Bowl. So yeah, guys, peace out. Please like, comment, sub, and let me know what you think about football. Peace out.